Lunch on quadratics. The main idea with a quadratic is that we're going to want you to have to solve. And this comes through basically two methods. You can use completing the square, but that's more for finding the vertex. We're going to want to know where this parabola actually hits the x-axis. And in order to do that, we're going to factor. And I always use this. And so I'm going to go back to it, but we've kind of explained this a little bit. If you multiply the first and the last, and you're looking, and I'm trying to get a -1, I think I'm going to use -6 and +5. So that tells me what to break this into. I need a 5. Well, the only way I can get a 5 from the 10 is a 5 from the 10 and a 1 from the 3. And I want that to be positive. And to get the -6, if I look what I have left over, I have a 2x from making the 10, and I have a -3 from the -3, and there it is. Now, I have not solved that. I'm going to set that equal to 0. Now, some of us just look at that and say -1 and +3. Well, we need to be careful. We need to realize that because we have a product there, 5x minus 3 could be 0, because our zero product property, and 2x plus 1 could be 0. Solving. And lots of you say, oh, I'm going to move the 3 and divide by 5, and I'm hoping that you're at that stage instead of having to show all of these steps. We have two solutions, 3/5 and -1/2. And if you remember about this parabola, they're not so nice of numbers, but I could estimate where they were at. I have 10, which says my parabola is going to open upward because it's positive, and 10, let's see, rise 10, run 1, very steep. Notice what I have not found is this vertex. If I want to find a vertex, there are a couple ways to do it. One was completing the square, but we're not going to worry about that yet. If I look at the next problem, 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm looking at, can I factor it? I would like to factor if at all possible, but my factors of 15 do not combine in any way to give me a 1. So I am not able to factor. So we have this formula, and the formula says -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and those are going to be my solutions for x. In other words, those are going to be where I hit my x-axis. And so in order to do that, I need to know a, b, and c. So notice the order in which this quadratic is written. It's got to be written in this order. A is with the squared term, b is my linear term, and c is my constant. So I'm going to pick off those values, and b is 1, so it says take the negative of that, square, minus 4 times 3 times -5, extend that radical sign all over 2 times 3. So simplifying this, I have positive inside 61, which I don't know the square root off the top of my head, nor am I going to estimate it. Now this is equal to x, and that's telling me where am I going to hit my x-axis. So you need to know the quadratic formula and the idea of factoring and solving. And then what happens if I give you a cubic? We want to be able to also factor this cubic. Factoring a cubic takes on two forms. If I have a cubed minus b cubed, it's going to be a minus b. So notice what is being cubed? A. And then a squared plus ab plus b squared. And likewise, if I follow this pattern and do a cubed plus b cubed, this is going to be a plus b. This is going to be a squared minus ab plus b squared. And that's just kind of a form that you need to recall. I believe it was on your proficiency test last year. And so I need to identify a. Who is a in this? A is 2x. It's not 8x. It's 2. 2 is being cubed as well. So this could be rewritten as, identifying these, it could be rewritten as 2x cubed minus 1 cubed. And so following the format here, a, which is 2x, I'm going to subtract b. Then I'm going to take a, and I'm going to square it. Now we have a problem if I write it that way. If I write it that way, it's only squaring x. We need to square all of it. So what I like to do is square that in my head and write down 4x squared. Then it says to multiply a and b. Well, remember, a should be a positive 1. Excuse me, a is a positive 2x, b is a positive 1, a times b is 2x times 1, which is 2x, plus b squared, which is 1. Notice the negative signs and where they fall in. if I am subtracting, my negative sign is first. If I'm adding, my negative sign is second. So that's just a form that you're going to need to know, and make sure you understand and know how to use a quadratic formula and factoring to solve.